The film commences in 1937 America when a car pulls up to an empty meadow with a colossal boulder. Two individuals exit the vehicle and hoist the rock, unveiling a sewer entrance. They descend into a military installation and observe through a two-way mirror as a soldier, indulging in cannabis, vividly expresses his grievances about the army. Despite his explicit critique, he remains remarkably relaxed and content. The superior officer promptly terminates the project, declaring marijuana illegal. Fast forward to the current day, Dale Denton is in his car, tuned in to talk radio, toking on weed, and offering counsel to listeners. He states that if marijuana is not legal within the next 5 years, he will have no faith left in humanity. Furthermore, he explains that everyone likes smoking weed, that they have for thousands of years, and they're not going to stop anytime soon. As a process server, he traverses from client to client, donning various disguises to efficiently deliver court documents and collection notices. During his break, he visits his 18-year-old girlfriend Angie at her high school, who he tells that he will be busy the next day, attempting to avoid a dinner meeting with her parents, whom he has yet to meet. While discussing this, a teacher requests his visitor's pass and engages in a confrontation with Dale, who responds crudely, repeatedly flipping him the finger. Only after witnessing Angie conversing with a handsome male student does he reluctantly agree to the dinner. Exiting the school, he calls Saul to acquire some more weed. Upon reaching Saul's place, Saul introduces him to Pineapple Express, an unusual strain of marijuana obtained from his supplier Red, which Saul states he is the only person in the whole city who has it. Saul persistently attempts to prevent Dale from leaving, tempting him with a cross-shaped joint that produces a trifecta effect when all 3 points are lit simultaneously. After taking a hit, Dale once again tries to depart, but then Saul starts questioning Dale about his job, remarking his suit. Dale explains that he's a process server, so he has to wear a suit. He also opens up about his girlfriend and that he fears she might leave him for those handsome men at her school. Saul comforts him, saying that he's got a great girl with a good job where he doesn't do anything and get to smoke weed all day. The two laugh it off. Afterwards, Saul tries inviting him to the opera, wanting to do more than just smoke and run, but Dale politely declines, saying that they can hang out in a couple days when he runs out of weed. Before he finally leaves, Dale reveals that he's about to serve a man named Ted Jones shortly. Saul mentions his supplier. Red sources his products from someone named Ted Jones. It would be amusing if it's the same individual. Dale arrives at Ted's residence, but parks to enjoy a quick joint. While smoking, he notices a police car pull up behind him, so he ducks down to evade detection. A female cop exits and strides into Ted's house with her gun drawn. Dale panics upon hearing gunshots and glimpses at the bedroom, just in time to witness Ted and Carol, the cop, shooting an Asian man. Alarmed, he tries to hastily leave, repeatedly colliding with Carol's squad car and another vehicle before making his escape. In his hurry, he tosses his joint out of the window. Ted and Carol, alerted by the commotion, step outside. Ted spots the joint, takes a puff, and exclaims, "Pineapple Express." Dale arrives at Saul's place, but can't enter immediately, as Saul keeps buzzing him too quickly. When he finally gets upstairs, he starts freaking out and vomits on Saul's printer. Saul tries to pacify him, but then mentions Pineapple Express is exceptionally rare. Dale inquires if he's the sole person in town possessing it. Saul confirms, prompting Dale to panic once again. They gather the weed, grab some snacks, and hastily leave. While driving around, they decide to go nowhere, so they pull into the woods to indulge in smoking. Saul contacts Red and informs him they'll visit at noon the next day. Red isn't alone at home. Ted has dispatched his men, Budlowski and Matheson, who call him with the news. Budlowski, a quite white man, married. Matheson, a larger black man, constantly insists that Budlowski has softened. Dale and Saul start panicking in the woods, becoming paranoid that their phones can be traced. Consequently, they decide to smash them. Dale smashes his against a rock, while Saul attempts to throw his at a tree but misses. While searching for the phone, Saul panics, thinking he hears something, prompting him to run. Dale takes the cue and runs in the opposite direction. They both tumble multiple times before reaching the car. Dale switches on the radio to listen to talk radio. They awaken the next morning to discover they slept until 4 p.m. Dale attempts to start his car, but the battery is dead, forcing them to hike through the woods. A humorous sequence unfolds as they smoke in the woods and dance. They hitchhike to Red's place, where Red invites them in for cake. It's evident he's been roughed up, but he claims to have herpes, which disgusts Saul since they shared joints before. Red mentions he's going to call his wife. Dale becomes suspicious and takes the phone. Refusing to return it, Red hurls an ashtray at him. He and Dale begin to fight. When Dale has him down, he runs into the bathroom and throws it in the toilet. Red and Saul begin to fight and Dale joins in again. They trash Red's house with all the fighting. Red manages to lock himself into the bathroom and tries to use the phone. Saul and Dale break down the door, knocking Red into the sink, which breaks, and squashing him under the door with Dale on top. He calls time out, which causes Dale and Saul to momentarily stop, then calls time in, and throws Dale off the door and runs into his living room. Dale finally throws Red head first into a wall to get the fight to end. They duct tape him to his deceased grandfather's wheelchair and interrogate him. Red spills the beans about Matheson and Budlowski and vows to assist them in escaping. Just then, Matheson and Budlowski knock on the door. Dale and Saul dash out the back way into an alley to conceal. Red promptly informs Matheson and Budlowski, who alert Ted. Ted instructs them to eliminate Red, so they shoot him in the stomach and depart. Ted begins to wonder if Dale collaborates with the Asians he's at war with, stationed outside his house. Dale realizes that if Red discloses his identity to Ted's associates, Angie is in jeopardy since she has possessions in his apartment. Consequently, they rush to Angie's house. Upon reaching there, Dale enters, appearing and smelling dreadful. Angie is displeased with his appearance and tardiness. As he endeavors to elucidate the entire situation, her father fetches his gun. Observing Matheson and Budlowski outside, Saul rushes inside to warn them, only to be stabbed in the shoulder with a fork by Angie. Dale clarifies that Saul is the reputable drug dealer, his dealer just before her father arrives with his gun shooting at them. Dale calms them down and persuades them to vacate the house before the others arrive. He instructs Angie to go to a motel on the other side of town, using the name Garagali. He and Saul hide in a tree for the night, engaging in a conversation. Saul tells Dale he considers him a friend. The subsequent morning, they decide to sell weed to generate some funds. They vend a few handfuls to some high school kids, while Saul procures food. Dale sits back smoking, and he suddenly gets nabbed by a passing police officer. She arrests him, alerting officers, including Carol, of their location. He explains the situation to her, and she seems to believe him, requesting more information. Saul spots Dale in the back seat and presumes the cop is Carol. He instigates a diversion while she drives towards him, throwing himself onto her car and hurling cherry slushies at the windshield. As she investigates who she hit, he clambers into the driver's seat and reverses the car. She commences firing at them, and Carol attempts to ram them from behind, resulting in a comical car chase. Unable to locate the wipers, Saul kicks the windshield with his foot, getting it stuck, so he drives with his foot through the window. They elude Carol by inducing her to collide with several cars, causing her car to flip. Upon exiting the car, Dale calls Angie to inquire about her well-being. They argue and essentially break up. Dale suggests to Saul that they cease smoking to heighten their awareness. Saul disagrees, sparking a disagreement where Dale coldly asserts they aren't friends, upsetting Saul and leading them to go their separate ways. Saul goes to the park, weeping as he consumes a sandwich. Dale calls Angie, confessing his love for her and emphasizing her significance to him. She reciprocates, expressing her love and revealing she had contemplated marrying him. This abruptly halts Dale's tears, prompting him to backtrack and hastily discuss the pace of their relationship. This infuriates Angie, causing her to hang up on Dale. He then looks up the address of Saul's grandmother, who resides in a nearby retirement home. Saul arrives at the home and is caught off guard by Matheson and Budlowski. While attempting to flee, he smashes a coffee pot in Matheson's face, but is tackled by Budlowski before escaping. Dale arrives to find the police taking statements from Saul's grandmother and other residents. He realizes Saul is with Ted's associates and heads to Red's house. There, he discovers Red in his bathroom with noodles and a knife. He endeavors to motivate Red to rescue Saul, but Red discloses he's been shot and is likely near death. After a moment, he decides to go for it, unveiling his arsenal of guns. They arm themselves and then head to the farmhouse where Red cultivates his marijuana, the same facility featured at the movie's start. At the farm, Matheson reveals a ghastly scar on the side of his face and attempts to attack Saul. Budlowski compels him to confine Saul in a room downstairs, the same room where the soldier in the beginning was being observed. Dale and Red arrive, but Red gets cold feet and returns home. Dale bursts in and holds one of Ted's men hostage, hoping to exchange him for Saul. The attempt fails when Budlowski shoots the guy and forces Dale into the room with Saul. While there, they converse and reconcile, annoying Matheson, who overhears from outside. When he leaves again, they attempt to break the ropes around their hands, using the buckle of Dale's belt. The noise resembles them engaging in intimate activities, which disconcerts Matheson, leading to an attack. He fires a shot at Dale and is subsequently shot by Saul. Dale survives but gets shot in the ear. They arm themselves with guns available in the vicinity, while the Asians launch an assault on Ted, Carol, and their men from above. A colossal gunfight ensues. Carol shields Ted so he can investigate the situation, and they share a kiss before he leaves. Dale and Saul dispatch a few of Ted's men. Dale assists Saul into an air duct, but is targeted by Ted before making it up there as well. Dale and Ted engage in a shootout, followed by a physical altercation. Ted tries to bite Dale's ear, but realizes too late that it's bloody. He recoils in disgust, providing Dale with an opportunity to pummel him. They use fire extinguishers, fluorescent lights, and pipes to strike each other. Just as Dale gains the upper hand, an Asian individual hurls a bomb towards them. They dodge it, but Ted is propelled into a wall and killed. Meanwhile, Saul climbs out of the vent and returns inside the farmhouse, where he confronts Carol. They engage in a substantial fight before he emerges victorious. Just as he's about to finish her off, Budlowski fires a shot. Opting to head home to his wife rather than further involve himself, he gets shot by Matheson, who was about to shoot Saul when he gets rammed by Red's Daewoo llamas. Doing a little victory dance, he is shot several times by Carol as she's about to shoot Saul. The explosion from below blows the car onto Carol, killing her. Dale climbs out, noticing his pants are on fire, so he takes them off. He then extracts an unconscious Saul from the burning building. When Saul regains consciousness, they get up in time to witness the farmhouse explode. Oddly enough, Red crawls out still alive. They celebrate their escape with breakfast at a nearby diner. Red jokes about probably dying, and as they reflect on the miraculous escape, he falls unconscious. They think he's dead, but he comes to when they call him. Saul's grandmother arrives and they all climb into her car. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.